watching Rajya Sabha TV. This is News Tonight. I am Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Well, this is one bulletin which is your one stop for the day's biggest news stories from India and across the world. Let's begin with the headlines. Disruption in Parliament for the fifth day. Rajya Sabha witnesses repeated adjournments as opposition members demand the Prime Minister's presence in the House during the debate. United Opposition forms the human chain outside Parliament to protest against demonetisation. Rahul Gandhi calls the government's decision the world's biggest impromptu financial experiment. More relaxations on cash withdrawals. The National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development sanctioned 21,000 crore rupees to pass it on primary agri-societies. No service charge on digital financial transactions using feature phones till 31st of December. And a day after the army vowed revenge for the killing of 3 soldiers, massive counter-offensive launched against Pakistan along the line of control. Well, beginning with the news from Parliament, well, the stalemate between the government and the opposition over demonetisation continued in the Rajya Sabha on Wednesday. The opposition insisted on the Prime Minister's presence while the government pressed for an immediate discussion. The impasse washed away proceedings of the House for the 5th day in a row.
Let the Prime Minister come.
The impasse over demonetisation continued on Wednesday as the opposition tried to mount pressure on the government in the upper house. Amid the demand for the Prime Minister's presence during discussion, members also sought compensation for the families of persons who allegedly lost their lives due to demonetisation.
आपके माध्यम से सरकार से विनती करना चाहता हूं।
Sir ji, let me complete this.
आप कहते हैं देश के लिए ये
let me complete this.
देश के लिए ये सर खड़े हैं इनकी
सर जी let me complete this.
उनके लिए कंपनसेशन क्यों नहीं दे रहे?
75 से ज्यादा लोग मर चुके हैं। हालात बहुत ज्यादा खराब हैं, अति गंभीर है, संवेदनशील है। हम आपका संरक्षण चाहते हैं। आप प्रधानमंत्री जी को बुलाएं, वो हमारी बात को सुने और जो लोगों के सामने समस्याएं उत्पन्न हो रही हैं उसका जवाब दें।
ऐसा नियम नहीं
ऐसा नहीं है, मैं क्या करूं?
लेकिन जब प्रधानमंत्री सामूहिक जिम्मेदारी को हटाते हुए किसी मंत्री को कॉन्फिडेंस में न ले, यहाँ की फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर को भी ऐसा निर्णय लेने में कॉन्फिडेंस में न ले, तब इस चेयर की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि सदन का रेजोल्यूशन करके वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर को कॉल करे या किसी मिनिस्टर को कॉल करे। आप सदन की राय ले लीजिए।
One day was over. Start the discussion. But the Prime Minister did not come. Thursday is the day of the Prime Minister. Thursday is the day of the Prime Minister in Rajya Sabha.
The opposition Congress also questioned the constitutional validity of the demonetisation decision.
No power is a violation of law. They cannot, even in case of a financial emergency, the government has neither the authority nor the power to deny people access to their money.
The government, however, slammed the opposition parties for derailing the legislative business of the House and insisted on a discussion.
सुचारू रूप से चले और सदन जो है वो चर्चा के लिए, डिबेट के लिए, डिस्कशन के लिए। अगर हम डिबेट डिस्कशन से भाग रहे हैं तो उसका मैसेज ये जा रहा है देश में कि हम डिबेट नहीं चाहते, इस पे डिस्कशन नहीं चाहते।
The chair urged the protesting members to resume the discussion on the topic.
Please. No, I have to ask only one question. First, how do you presume and why do you presume that PM will not come? You start the discussion.
Amid the war of words, opposition members trooped into the well of the House, demanding the Prime Minister's presence. Ruling party members also resorted to sloganeering by moving to the aisles. Despite the adjournments with no visible respite, the chair adjourned the House till Thursday. With inputs from Vishal Dhaya and Panchanan Mishra, Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it was not just the upper house, but the Lok Sabha also witnessed a virtual washout for the 5th day in a row on Wednesday as the government and opposition parties continue to clash over demonetisation issue. However, the government did agree to discuss the matter in the House, but not under Rule 56 or 193.
Lok Sabha witnessed a stormy session yet again on Wednesday, with opposition parties demanding a discussion on the demonetization controversy. The Congress, TMC, AIADMK, Left, NCP, RJD and JDU sought a response from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was present in the House. Parliamentary Affairs Minister later agreed to a healthy discussion in the House.
17 तारीख से हर दिन हम उनको निवेदन कर रहे हैं, आप बहस करो, आप चर्चा करो। जो मोदी जी ने, भारत सरकार ने काले धन के खिलाफ एक संघर्ष शुरू किया है, इसके बारे में चर्चा करने के लिए पूरा एनडीए और भारतीय जनता पार्टी तैयार है।
Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge said they were ready for a discussion under Rule 56, which entails voting, while the BJD demanded discussion under Rule 193.
Rule 56 के तहत जो हमने एडजर्नमेंट नोटिस दिया, मोशन नोटिस दिया है, उसी को आप अलाउ करें और चर्चा के लिए हमको अगर आप सम्मति दिए तो हम चर्चा शुरू करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
I will fervently request you to sit in interaction with the government and to see that the debate starts from tomorrow under adjournment motion under Rule 56.
Common people and farmers standing in queue to get lower denomination in front of the ATMs and banks, madam, after denomination of the government announcement of the denomination. For that purpose only, we want discussion on adjournment motion already given to you.
The issue is very serious. So we have been asking and begging to the chair that the chair can direct the government, considering the seriousness of the issue. The government has taken a wrong decision. So I request the chair to discuss the issue under 56.
Yes. We have given a motion for discussion under Rule 193. That's a short duration discussion. There may be a motion under Rule 184 where discussion can take place on a motion and a division also can be demanded. There are various ways in which the House can take up the issue for consideration.
However, Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan disallowed the adjournment motion notices amid huge commotion. The deadlock continued as the government refused to agree to a discussion in the lower house that ends in a vote. The house was later adjourned for the day. Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the opposition parties stepped up resistance against government on demonetization by holding a massive protest in the Parliament complex on Wednesday. The opposition pressed for Prime Minister's statement in the House while also demanding a JPC probe on alleged selective leakage of information on demonetization. Opposition MPs forming a human chain at the Gandhi statue in Parliament complex to register their protest against the decision to scrap high-value currency notes. The opposition parties claim the demonetization drive was ill-equipped and has led to the loss of several lives. Seeking to corner the government, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi called the demonetization as the world's biggest impromptu financial experiment.
जो प्रधानमंत्री ने किया है, ये दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा इम्प्रॉम्प्टू फाइनेंशियल एक्सपेरिमेंट है। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसके बारे में किसी से पूछा नहीं। कहा जा रहा है कि फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर को नहीं मालूम था, चीफ इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजर को नहीं मालूम था। ये डिसीजन फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर का नहीं है, ये प्रधानमंत्री का डिसीजन है और इस डिसीजन के कारण करोड़ों लोगों को जबरदस्त नुकसान हुआ है।
It was a rare sight of unanimity as extreme political rivals like the TMC and the Left, the SP and the BSP, DMK and the AIADMK joined ranks against the centre.
I think the government and the Prime Minister are abdicating their responsibility under the Indian Constitution. They are in fact negating the very oath that the Prime Minister has taken to become the Prime Minister. What does that oath mean? That the government of the day, and as the head of the government, he is answerable to the Parliament. The parliamentarians are answerable to the people. That is the meaning of we the people in our Constitution.
पूरे देश के अंदर जो गरीब लोग हैं, मेहनत कश लोग हैं, मध्यम वर्गीय लोग हैं और किसान भी, ये सब लोग बड़े पैमाने पर दुखी हैं, क्योंकि केंद्र की सरकार ने बिना पूरी तैयारी के जल्दबाजी में जो नोटबंदी का फैसला लिया है, मैं समझती हूँ ये इनका फैसला बिल्कुल गलत है।
प्रधानमंत्री जी पूर्ण रूप से जिम्मेदार हैं। अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी अपनी कैबिनेट को बिना कॉन्फिडेंस में लिए इतना बड़ा निर्णय ले सकते हैं, तो हम उनके कैबिनेट के किसी मंत्री पर कैसे विश्वास कर लें कि पार्लियामेंट को सही जवाब देगा।
Whenever there is an important issue discussed, we have seen in the past that the Prime Ministers used to come. They even allowed the members to interrupt. They have intervened and they have replied. But whereas now the country is in a crisis, financial crisis almost. I think when the first of the next month comes, I think the government itself will not be able to have money to give the salary to its own employees, even the security forces.
The government lashed out at the opposition for derailing the agenda of winter session of Parliament. The opposition, however, alleged that Prime Minister's silence over demonetisation in Parliament was causing obstruction.
The wide discussion did not take place in Lok Sabha at all, number one. Number two, the discussion took place in Rajya Sabha only for one day. Why? Because the reason they are giving is Prime Minister is not there to listen to their discussion, to their viewpoint. Is Prime Minister not listening to them on television as well?
इस तरह का कदम बिना किसी तैयारी के इतना बड़ा कदम उठाया तो वही हालत होगी नीम हकीम खतरे जान वाली जो उनको जानलेवा साबित हो गया ना।
We have found almost every political party worth its presence or worth its name in the houses. We had AIA-DMK as also DMK. We had CPIM as also TMC, the parties which are otherwise at loggerheads. So they all have come under one flag, one banner, only to fight this disastrous consequence on poor people. Now the presence of Prime Minister is required for genuine reason.
The opposition parties have now decided to launch a nationwide Akrosh Divas on 28th of November. Wednesday's protests inside and outside Parliament indicate that the opposition is determined to be relentless in mounting pressure on the government over the demonetisation issue. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Well, even as opposition to the move continues, the government has said it will not roll back demonetisation under any situation. The government's resolve came on the back of a slew of measures being announced to make matters easier for the common man. The government announced a slew of measures on Wednesday outlining steps to ease problems being faced by the common man owing to demonetisation. The National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development NABARD has sanctioned an additional 21,000 crore rupees to the district central cooperative banks. This has been done to help small-scale farmers who go to cooperative banks.
Out of the total credit that flows from institutional sources, more than 40% of the requirement of small and marginal farmers is from the cooperative credit structure. So therefore the sanction of 21,000 crore limit by NABARD to the district central cooperative banks will enable the district central cooperative banks to pass on, to sort of grant funds, to sort of pass on these funds to the primary agricultural cooperative societies. And the primary agricultural cooperative societies network, the PACS network, will get activated. Among other measures, Railways has lifted the service charges on the online booking of tickets till December 31st, 2016. 82,000 ATMs have already been recalibrated for dispensing the new currency notes, and the rest would follow soon. There will also be no transaction charges on debit cards till December 31st this year. The intention of this decision and the intention behind this gesture which has been made by the banks is to ensure greater penetration of digital transactions into our economy and to ensure that more and more people migrate towards digital transactions. And I take this opportunity to appreciate the gesture of the public sector banks and some of the private sector banks who have already agreed. The government believes these measures will encourage people to move towards digital payments. Claiming that the scheme has received a positive response so far, the government categorically stated on Wednesday there will be no rollback of demonetisation under any circumstance.
इस देश में गरीब लोग मोदी जी के साथ हैं, इस देश में किसान लोग मोदी जी के साथ हैं, इस देश में गांव वाले मोदी जी के साथ हैं, बहुमत हमारे पास है। निर्णय सरकार ने गरीब लोगों के हित में लिया है। और ये अरविंद केजरीवाल, ममता बनर्जी कह रहे हैं इसको वापस ले, वापस लो। वापस लेना मोदी जी के खून में नहीं है, ये कभी भी वापस नहीं लेंगे।
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court refused to stay proceedings in cases filed in high courts and lower courts against demonetization. The apex court has also allowed cash-starved cooperative banks to approach their respective high courts. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the central government has defended its decision to demonetize currency notes of 500 and 1,000 rupees. Now, in an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha TV's Vishal Daya, Minister of State with independent charge of Commerce and Industry, Nirmala Sitharaman, said that the entire exercise was planned well and curbs on withdrawal from the ATMs and banks will be eased once enough currency to replace the demonetized notes reaches the banks.
With hindsight, it will be easy for any one of us to say, oh, couldn't we have planned the ATMs better? Couldn't we have planned the queues better? Agreed. But then when you're taking a major decision like this, with so many different parties which have to do their bit without the element of secrecy going out, you can go that far and not any further. I don't think the threshold exists in terms of what is coming into the banks. Because you said it together with, oh, this much lakhs of currency has come in, has already come into the banks, and therefore is there a threshold. I don't think that's the way we are looking at. More currency will have to reach people, and the ease will come in.
Well, government, they're insisting that there is just no question of a rollback there. Well, you can catch the complete interview on Rajya Sabha TV tonight at 10 p.m. So don't forget to tune in. And with this, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Today, we have with us Minister of State with independent charge of Commerce and Industries, Nirmala Sitharaman.
The government is willing to discuss any matter. After all, Parliament is a forum where discussion should happen. We in the opposition will dictate the terms, irrespective of what you agreed to. Outrage that they think that the government has leaked to select people the information.
Watch Commerce Minister Nirmala Sitharaman articulate her views on demonetization in To the Point on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Well, the GST Council meeting scheduled for 25th of November has been cancelled after the centre received some proposals from states regarding the draft model GST law. Now, the council is likely to meet next on 2nd and 3rd of December. The officers committee of both the centre and states, however, will meet on 25th of November to finalise the 3 draft legislations of the CGST, IGST and compensation law. The drafts will be placed in a public domain for stakeholders as comments. The centre proposes to introduce these legislations as money bills to ensure that they are not stuck in the Rajya Sabha where the ruling NDA does not have a majority. Well, the government is set to be on track to introduce the legislations in the ongoing winter session of Parliament, which ends on 16th of December. On to other top story. Well, the Indian Army today launched massive fire assaults on Pakistan along the line of control a day after it killed 3 soldiers, including mutilating the body of one of them in Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, firing between India and Pakistan continues along the line of control in Poonch, Rajouri, Kale and Machil sectors. Now, 3 army jawans have been injured in the shelling.
The Indian Army on Wednesday launched a counter-offensive against Pakistan along the line of control a day after a soldier was mutilated and 2 soldiers were killed in Machil sector of Jammu and Kashmir. The assaults came hours after the army vowed heavy retribution for the brutal act. Pakistan, however, rejected the claims, calling them false and baseless.
अपनी सेना पर पूरा विश्वास रखिए, भरोसा रखिए, इतना ही कहूँगा।
काफ़ी गतिविधि इसलिए है कि पाकिस्तान बौखलाए हुए हैं, तो वहाँ से जितना भी पाकिस्तान साइड से सीज फायर वायलेशन होता है, उसका बड़ी जोरदार से हमारा BSF और भारतीय सेना के जवानों ने जवाब दिया है और दे रहे हैं।
Pakistani troops continued to shell Indian positions, injuring 3 border security force jawans in Rajouri district. They also fired at Indian posts along the line of control in Bhimber Gali, Krishna Ghati and Naushera sectors. Meanwhile, Pakistan claimed that 4 of its citizens were killed and 7 others injured in an attack near the line of control by Indian troops.
फायरिंग आ रही है पाकिस्तान की तरफ से। हम लोग तो सब गांव छोड़ के बाहर भागे हुए हैं, जंगल के अंदर रह रहे हैं, पहाड़ी के अंदर छुपे हुए हैं। बहुत खतरनाक फायर आ रहा है पाकिस्तान की तरफ से। हमारी इंडियन आर्मी मुंह तोड़ जवाब दे रही है उसका। हम अंदर छुप के रह गए तो फायर बहुत सख्त जोर से हो रहा था। हमारे घरों के पास भी बहुत आए नीचे, तो अब भी हम छुपे हुए हैं क्योंकि हमें खतरा है कि कभी किसी वक्त भी कहीं भी गोला पड़ सकता है। आप आवाज तो सुन रहे हैं कितने तेजी से चल रहा है फायर।
Army also paid tribute to the 3 soldiers who were killed in action by Pakistan along the line of control in Machal sector on Tuesday. Meanwhile, normal life remained affected in the valley due to the strike called by the separatists. Shops, petrol pumps and other business establishments were shut, while public transport was off the roads in most areas. Kashmir has been witnessing shutdown for the last 138 days. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's get you some more news from across the nation and nationwide. Punjab Congress Chief Captain Amrinder Singh on Wednesday handed over to Speaker Sumitra Mahajan his resignation from the Lok Sabha membership to protest over the Satluj-Yamuna link canal issue. His resignation will be held valid from 11th of November, the date on which he sent his resignation through email to the Speaker. The Supreme Court had on 10th of November held as unconstitutional the 2004 law passed by the Punjab Assembly denying Haryana its share in the river waters through the SYL. 6 suspected Maoists were killed in an encounter with the Central Reserve Police Force in Jharkhand's Latehar district on Wednesday. Over 600 bullets and a dozen IEDs were also recovered from the area. The encounter began when a squad of Cobra commandos for the CRPF was out for operations. Search operations are still on. By-poll for 1 seat for Zilla Parishad, the 2 Panchayat Samitis and 44 Gram Panchayats in 8 districts of Tripura will be held on 21st of December. The official notification for the by-polls will be issued on Thursday and the entire process of the by-polls will be completed by 26th of December. Now, a total number of 28,692 voters are eligible to exercise their franchise in the by-polls. Puducherry Chief Minister V. Narayanasamy has been sworn in as a member of the Assembly. He won the Nelithorpe Assembly by-poll by defeating his immediate AIADMK rival Om Shakti Segar by a margin of more than 11,000 votes. The strength of the Congress has now been restored to 15 in the 30-member Assembly, with the DMK also supporting the government. On to the top international story. Well, Colombia's government and the FARC rebel group have agreed to sign a new peace deal after the original deal was rejected in a referendum in October. Now, President Juan Manuel Santos says it is a unique opportunity to close a painful chapter in the country's history amid concerns that a delicate ceasefire could unravel unless implementation begins soon. However, the opposition says that the redrafted deal still does not go far enough in punishing rebels for their human rights abuses. A revised peace deal between the Colombian government and FARC rebels is in the offing. A new document will be signed in Bogota on Thursday between the government and FARC leader Timochenko. It will then be sent to Congress for approval rather than put to a popular vote.
Después de escuchar todas las propuestas y alternativas y de común acuerdo con las FARC, es claro que la vía más conveniente y legítima para refrendar este nuevo acuerdo es a través del Congreso de la República.
Que está más a la mano y el que es más rápido y más expedito. Yo creo que entre más tiempo se dilate la refrendación del acuerdo, más espacio se le da dando a los sectores que no quieren la paz, a los sectores que quieren que la guerra continúe.
The new deal with some 50+ changes comes after the one negotiated earlier this year was rejected by the public in a vote. The majority of voters were angered by what they saw as insufficient punishment for those who perpetrated a litany of crimes against their people. The opposition has criticized the new document as well, saying that it is just a slightly altered version of the original. It has demanded that rebel leaders be banned from holding public office and for them to be jailed for crimes.
Y hemos dicho que hay una tercera categoría de temas que pueden ajustarse aquí en el Congreso. Lo grave es que el gobierno no atienda unos clamores como el clamor de la inconveniencia de la impunidad, del narcotráfico.
Despite the opposition's objections, President Santos has made it clear that there is no more room for negotiation. He says ratification would take place in the Congress, where the ruling coalition has a solid majority, adding that nationwide desire for peace will override any objections. The government and the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, have been in talks in Havana, Cuba, for the last 4 years, hammering out a deal to end a 50-year-old conflict that has killed more than 2 lakh and displaced millions. Santos was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in October for his efforts in bringing an end to the conflict. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, time now for some sporting action in Sports Beat. 5 Indian shuttlers, including Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu in women's, while HS Pranoy, Ajay Jairam and Sameer Verma have entered into the second round of the Hong Kong Super Series. Saina defeated Pontep Burana Parsetis of Thailand 12-21, 21-19, 21-17. PV Sindhu defeated Indonesia's Susanto Yulia Yosefin 21-13, 21-16 in the opening round. In the men's singles, HS Pranoy defeated China's Qiao Bin 21-16, 21-18, while Sameer Verma edged past Japan's Takuma Ueda 22-20, 21-18 in another match. Ajay Jairam also won his first round match. India lost 2-3 to the Australian men's hockey team in their opening match of the Four Nation Men's Invitational Hockey Tournament on Wednesday. Rupinder Pal Singh scored a brace, but the hosts sealed the scoreline with goals in the second and third quarters. India will now face Malaysia on a Thursday in the tournament. Seamer Bhuvneshwar Kumar has been recalled to the 16-member Indian team for the final 3 test matches against England, while veteran opener Gautam Gambhir has been axed. Bhuvneshwar Kumar has been out of action for more than 6 weeks due to a back injury. Now, while spinners have dominated India's bowling composition, Bhuvneshwar's variations and his recent match-winning exploits in Test cricket gives the skipper Virat Kohli another option with 4 specialist pacers already in the squad. The third Test match of the ongoing 5-match series will be played in Mohali from Saturday. South African cricket captain Faf du Plessis, who was charged 100% of his match fee for ball tampering during the Hobart Test against Australia, has said that he did nothing wrong. Du Plessis said that for him, ball tampering is picking the ball, scratching the ball. Shining it, he said, is not in the same place. Well, that's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching. Good night.